Overwatch is easily one of today's most popular games, with millions of players battling each other all in the name of teamwork. So how did a game that took only about 2 years or so to develop take 7 years to get here? To find out, we have to go all the way back to the beginning, before Overwatch even existed. Overwatch may have been released in 2016, but its birth came from the ashes of a failed, never-released Blizzard game called Titan. Titan was the code name for a new MMO game that Blizzard was working on. Titan's first brush with the public came when a user on a Blizzard forum speculated that a new game was in development after the company published job listings for character and environment artists to work on a next-gen MMO that was top secret. A Blizzard representative confirmed that the postings were indeed for a new MMO that would not be part of the World of Warcraft universe. At the 2011 DICE Summit, Blizzard CEO Mike Morhaime said that he believed that World of Warcraft and Titan would be able to coexist in the same market. However, after 7 years in development, Morhaime told Polygon.com that Titan had been cancelled.
And if any of you had ever wondered what kind of new world Blizzard would create, well, I think 17 years is too long to wait. And my friends, the wait ends right now. So my friends, get a load of this. We hope you love it like we do. I'll see you on the other side.
So on November 7th, 2014, Blizzard announced Overwatch, a new multiplayer first-person shooter. Senior Vice President of Story and Franchise Development Chris Metzen revealed during BlizzCon panel that Overwatch would incorporate some elements such as maps that were originally intended for Titan, but that the games are otherwise unrelated. However, we also know from a December 2016 interview with Jeff Kaplan, the Vice President of Blizzard Entertainment, that Titan was also a class-based shooter. He also noted that Tracer was originally part of Titan's jumper class. So make no mistake about it, Tracer and the rest of Overwatch may live in a post-Petrus Act Earth, but they were definitely made on Titan. Not long after Titan's 2014 cancellation, Blizzard began work on Overwatch. The large team that had been working on Titan, at one point consisting of over 100 people, was reduced to a small group and tasked with coming up with a new project. This would be Blizzard's second attempt to launch a new franchise since 1998's StarCraft. That's nearly a 17-year gap, and after spending 7 of those years working on the cancelled Titan, Blizzard didn't want to make the same mistakes. According to Jeff Kaplan, the small team born from Titan became a very tight-knit group, and their desire to work together influenced their decision to tackle adapting the large-scale and fast-paced gameplay of Team Fortress 2 with the smaller scale and cooperative nature of MOBAs. While brainstorming ideas, the team began discussing the first-person shooter genre. From the top down, the team were all big fans of FPSs. In fact, Jeff Kaplan himself has the boxes for Doom 1 and Doom 2 on display behind the desk in his office. The team felt that they could do something different by going against the gritty, military-based realism that's been the permeating trend over the last decade or so. Kaplan and his team wanted to explore over-the-top capabilities, weapons, and movements. As Jeff Kaplan put it, they wanted to create epic, fluid, really fun-to-watch type of gameplay. Blizzard COO was also on board with the team's quest to create a first-person shooter that was more accessible to a wider audience, while still delivering the action and depth that serious first-person shooter fans love. Development began. The real development on Overwatch began with the creation of its first hero. They used Tracer and a single map based on the Temple of Anubis to test how well the core mechanics played. Even with just one character and one unfinished map, the team already found the game fun to play. Not long after, the team had its next 3 playable heroes completed. Joining Tracer were Widowmaker, Reaper, and Pharah. According to assistant game director Aaron Keller, the gameplay already felt almost the same as it does in its final release. That's when we got guardedly optimistic that we had something special. Overwatch's development team ended up spending about 2 years working out the rest of the characters, gameplay balance, and graphics. The development team's goal was for each map to create a focus on team-based gameplay. The team wanted there to be a sense of where the attackers are coming from and where the defenders are going to be. Overwatch was developed with half a dozen features to bring in a wider audience, including an accessibility feature for colorblind individuals. One important goal was to have what the team called combat clarity for the player, so that when a player moved into a new area, enemy characters would be clearly visible. Blizzard accomplished this by contrasting the hues and saturation levels used for players against those used within the maps, and then created characters with distinctly different silhouettes to allow a player to identify the hero from a distance. In fact, the entire world of Overwatch feels distinct, unique, and bright. Instead of the usual post-apocalyptic dull colors that seem to fill 99% of shooters, Overwatch's team wanted their game to look different. In a pre-release interview, assistant game director Aaron Keller said, "We wanted this game to feel almost hopeful and inspirational. We wanted to create this bright world, and we purposefully stayed away from something grim. We aimed for a handcrafted feel with the characters, which you'll notice have little dings and pockmarks on them." It's hard to imagine, but initially there were plans for Overwatch to be released under a free-to-play model with microtransactions. However, during development, Blizzard found that giving players the ability to change heroes mid-match was an important gameplay mechanic. They wanted players to be able to jump to any hero as necessitated by the situation, and the free-to-play or DLC approach would limit that ability if none of the team's players had purchased access to that particular hero. And it was in part this fear that inspired them to scrap plans to release Overwatch as a free-to-play game filled with microtransactions. Instead, Blizzard made it a single-purchase title, potentially leaving millions of dollars on the table just to provide a community that didn't even exist yet the best possible game they could. Rather than include it as part of a single-player campaign, Blizzard released Overwatch's overall plot and story through a series of computer-generated cinematic trailers, fake news reports, teasers, and animated shorts that serve to both promote Overwatch and lay the groundwork for some serious world building. Leading up to the launch of the game, Blizzard released a series of 6 digital comics that further explored the lives of several heroes after the fall of Overwatch. Since the game's debut, several more comics have been released to coincide with seasonal game events such as the Halloween Terror and Winter Wonderland events. Blizzard and Dark Horse Comics announced a partnership at the 2016 San Diego Comic-Con that will see Dark Horse publish the existing Overwatch comics under their label, as well as future comics. Dark Horse will also publish a 100-page art book, The Art of Overwatch, to be released in mid-2017. According to Blizzard spokesperson Stacy Sher, there are also plans for an Overwatch movie and an animated series. So, what exactly is Overwatch's story? Overwatch takes place 60 years into the future on Earth, and 30 years after the resolution of the Omnic Crisis. Prior to the Omnic Crisis, humanity had been in a golden age of prosperity and technological development. Humans developed robots with artificial intelligence called Omnics. The Omnic Crisis began when the Omnium started producing a series of lethal, hostile robots that turned against humankind. In response, the United Nations formed Overwatch, an international task force to combat the Omnic threat and restore order. Gabriel Reyes and Jack Morrison, 2 veteran soldiers, were put in charge of Overwatch. They were initially joined by Anna Amari, Reinhard Willem, and Torbjorn. Overwatch succeeded in ending the Omnic Crisis, and to the world the team became heroes. However, a rift developed between Reyes and Morrison. Morrison became the sole leader of Overwatch, while Reyes took charge of Blackwatch, Overwatch's secret covert operations division. After the Omnic Crisis, Overwatch rose in prominence and achieved a worldwide level of influence. With the Omnic Crisis behind them, Overwatch made global peace and stability its new mission. Gabriel Reyes led Blackwatch, some of whose members like Jesse McCree were actually former outlaws. Blackwatch tended to handle the seedy, dirty work that the very public and pristine Overwatch couldn't really touch. Eventually, allegations of wrongdoing ranging from negligence resulting in high-profile mission failures, corruption, mismanagement, weapons proliferation, human rights abuses, and more were made towards Overwatch when their top secret division Blackwatch was revealed to the public. These allegations led to infighting within Overwatch and Blackwatch. The UN became involved, forming a special committee to investigate the allegations. But before the investigation could be completed, an explosion destroyed Overwatch's Swiss headquarters, seemingly taking the lives of its 2 leaders, Overwatch's Jack Morrison and Blackwatch's Gabriel Reyes. Although the United Nations claimed it was an accident, the explosion at the headquarters was revealed to be the result of an internal clash between Morrison and Reyes. The UN shut down Overwatch and passed the Petrus Act, which made all Overwatch-like activity illegal and punishable by prosecution. Without Overwatch, corporations started using covert operatives to influence government officials. Fighting and terrorism have broken out in parts of the world. Criminal organizations such as Talon operate without fear of repercussions. And worst of all, there are signs of a second Omnic crisis occurring in Russia. Despite the Petrus Act, former members of Overwatch decide to reform, recruiting old friends and gaining new allies in their fight. Upon its actual release, Overwatch received near universal acclaim. Critics praised that Overwatch allowed both new and casual players who may not desire to master the game to still compete fairly with others, all the while still leaving room for expert players to utilize the various heroes to adapt to the dynamic tactics of the game. Commercially, Overwatch has been an astounding success. Just 1 week after its May launch, Blizzard reported that Overwatch already had 7 million active players with over 119 million hours of combined gameplay. By mid-June, that number had climbed to 10 million players, and when October rolled around, it had doubled to 20 million. Overwatch has been nominated for numerous 2016 Technical Achievement Awards.
The Game of the Year at the Game Awards 2016 is Overwatch.
And has already gone on to win multiple 2016 Game of the Year awards and has even spawned its own official esports league. To their credit, Blizzard has gone above and beyond to help cultivate Overwatch's community. Key team members frequently post in the official Overwatch forums, and prior to the game's launch, Blizzard encouraged fans of Overwatch to make artistic content based on the game by releasing a hero reference kit. Their hero reference kit provided official colors as well as costume and weapon designs for all 21 heroes. Fans have used these, the game's animated shorts, digital comics, and their own original works to create content ranging from art, cosplay, and even an anime-style music video.
I look across the raging war and feel the steady beating of my heart. 嵐の前の静けさに刃を振り下ろしてくる。
Overwatch has transcended from just another video game into a cultural phenomenon. Its story, its characters, its gameplay, and community all really go much deeper than what I explored in today's video, which is why I'll be covering those topics in depth in future episodes. For now, let me leave you with this quote from Jeff Kaplan about Overwatch. Playing Overwatch is about sharing an experience and working together, no matter who you're with. Whether you win or lose, you do so together. You all share in that. If you like this video and want to see more like it, please let me know in the comments. And hey, while you're at it, why don't you subscribe?